What was that moment for you when you realized, like, all right, I'm in the show now, like off the field? Like, I've talked to guys like, yeah, I got Chick-fil-A nuggets on the plane. I'm like, okay, this is kind of nice, or whatever it may be. Like, what was that
Pretty
moment
much
for
the
you?
same. Yeah, pretty much the same thing, man. When you get on the bus, it was that trip. You get on the bus, it takes you to the private part of the airport. You don't go to security. You just go hop on a plane with just the team, and there's, people on there handing you whatever you want. Beer, soda, food, snacks. You get your own row. And it's just cool. I don't know how to explain it besides like, show planes and show trips are they're show trips. That's why they're called that.
Yeah.
They take care of you well. They treat you right. And, one of the biggest things people might not talk about is like you get to share a room in the minor leagues and the hotels when you travel. And then you get to the big leagues, everybody gets their own room.
Mm-hmm.
And like that for your mentals, like it's just going back to a place where you don't, it's nice to be able to talk to your teammates and do stuff and hang out with them, but you
Mm-hmm.
see them all the time. And so going back and being able to have a space to your own every night and not having to pay for it on your own is
Mm-hmm.
like awesome. And once you get used to it and you got to go back down to AAA and then you have
Yeah.
to start paying for your own room again, that sucks. But
Yeah.
like it's that's probably the two coolest parts is like you show up. I'll never forget showing up to Houston for the exhibition series that year. I flew with the team. I wasn't on the roster yet before the season started, and we show up to a super nice Ritz Carlton. Maybe it was a Four Seasons, one or two. They're both nice. Don't get me
Mm-hmm.
wrong. You walk in and it has my name on the TV and it says, like, welcome, Geoff Hartlieb. And I'm like, man,
That's
they
kind of
don't put
cool.
those up on the Holiday Inns when you're going to Lexington, Kentucky. But it's moments like that I'll always remember because it's the first time something like that happens. It's really cool, no
Yeah.
doubt.
No, for sure. What was your favorite? What has been your favorite city to play in? As a major leaguer.
I'm probably a little biased, but Pittsburgh is freaking cool.
Yeah.
It's one of the coolest backdrops in baseball. You got the bridges in the background. You go to the top of the stadium by those press boxes and the view you can see. Walking out of the dugout every day and seeing the cityscape skyline out there past right field. I mean, it's hard to beat. And the
Yeah.
city's cool itself. And the fans, they didn't love us a lot of the time when we were there just because we weren't super successful.
Mm.
But they were still good fans, man.
Yeah.
They care a lot, and you could always feel that, even if they were frustrated, and that was why they were saying what they were saying. Not always frustrated at us, at everything else going on too. Uh, so I'm always gonna say Pittsburgh's up there. Colorado is a very cool park. It's a cool city, obviously too. Denver, but Colorado I liked playing in, and I mean, for me, St. Louis that's where I'm from, and the first time pitching on Busch Stadium mound was arguably cooler than my debut. Walking out there and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of my friends and family, a lot of people from my hometown came, all my buddies, and hearing them cheering when I'm running out as an away player, and like it went well. You get off the mound, it's just like, dude, that was freaking cool. I've been to so many games in that park and watched it from the stands,
Yeah.
and then watching guys like Pujols, Wainwright, Yadi, Colton Wong. I know Colton now, and I faced him a few times when we worked out together a little bit during COVID, and getting to face Yachty multiple times, Wayno, uh, and I got to face Pujols when he's out in Anaheim, actually out there. And so all those experiences together from like my childhood coming up, and then just them being your peers almost. And I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gonna say I'm like Yachty's peer and Wayno's
Yeah. Yeah.
peer
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Pujols. I'm not their peer, but like I'm playing the same game as them at the same
Right.
level.
Right.
And so yeah, I mean nobody can take that away from me. It's some of the coolest. I mean, for the rest of my life, I'll get to say things like that. And so that's a cool perspective I get to have for sure. And so I would say St. Louis, and then I don't know if you've ever been out to LA, Dodger Stadium,
Mm.
but it's a freaking party out in Dodger Stadium. They have the vibes are just different out there. You walk in the park, you walk in the city, and you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
It's LA. It's
Yeah.
fast. I mean, stars are out. It's cool. That stadium's really, really cool. The view you got from the top of it too, you can see out on the whole valley and everything. It's awesome, man. Yeah, there's some really cool places you get to go experience when you play in this game.